The aim of the video, The Innocence of Muslims, was and is to provoke the Muslim Ummah, and it certainly has succeeded in doing so. The producers of this crude video must be thrilled on seeing the outrage sparked throughout the Muslim world. Street demonstrations, destruction of public and private property, the killing of innocent people by ill-informed Muslims, thus showing the world that Islam is full of violence and as such it needs to be contained. Have the movie makers succeeded in portraying a negative image of Islam? While the production of such a film is disgusting, the reaction to the video by the Muslim world is far more disturbing. Over the years, we have seen that it is so easy to provoke the Muslim mind. Defaming of the Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, by just one or a few in words, print, and now film, and all hell breaks loose. Hell is bound to break loose if one listens to the whispers of Satan while ignoring the command of Allah Ta'ala in the Quran. The innocent followers of Islam are unaware that their reaction to such a video is an act of shirk. Yes, it's an act of shirk. Shirk in Islam, that is having partners with God or having something equal to God, is the worst of sins, which has no forgiveness. Let me make it clear: when a Muslim or a group reacts to the dishonoring of the Prophet Muhammad by taking matters in their own hands, he or she is committing shirk. One might say that the reaction is an act of love that a Muslim has for the Prophet Muhammad. Be informed that the prime cause for shirk is loving and respecting another more than Allah Ta'ala and His commands. Now, do the Muslims love Prophet Muhammad more than Allah? Does the Hadith have precedence over the Quran? Do the innocent Muslims pay heed to the words of the Mullahs or to the words of Allah Ta'ala? We see it is clearly written in Surah Al-Hijr 95, "For sufficient are we," the we here is Allah Ta'ala, "for sufficient are we unto thee against those who scoff." In light of this verse, who can entice the innocent Muslims to violence but the devil? Allah Ta'ala is explicitly stating in verse 95 that sufficient is He to take care of matters to do with the mocking of the Prophet Muhammad. As such, no individual or group needs to take upon themselves the task of protecting the honor of the Prophet Muhammad. Any individual or a group who does so is guilty of shirk. Not only individuals and radical groups are guilty, but nations too, such as the nation of Pakistan in its constitutional law of blasphemy. Defaming Prophet Muhammad merits death with or without a fine if a charge is laid under Section 295C of the blasphemy law in Pakistan. As per Surah Al-Hijr, the blasphemy law of Pakistan constitutes shirk. If anyone doubts, he is advised to study Surah Al-Hijr in its entirety. If we study the surah, it starts by stating that these verses are revealed so as to make things clear. making what things clear? The mocking of the Prophet Muhammad by disbelievers. And why? Why to make things clear? So the religious leaders, the Mullahs, do not misguide the followers in matters to do with the handling of the disbeliever. Disbelievers are the ones who do not worship Allah, the ones that mock the Prophet Muhammad. In Surah 15:3, we see Allah Ta'ala commanding the followers to leave the disbelievers alone, the ones who mock the Prophet Muhammad. Let me read Surah 15:3 to you. Leave them alone to enjoy the good things of life and to please themselves. Let false hope amuse them. If we read further, we see that even when the disbeliever goes to the extent of calling the Prophet Muhammad mad or possessed, then too he has to be left alone. Al-Hajr 15 reads, They say, O thou to whom the message is being revealed, truly thou art mad or possessed. As we read further, the mocking of the Prophet is nothing new. For God, it happened to the prophets of the past and to the Prophet Muhammad because Allah allows it. Let's read Al-Hijr 15:11 and 12. But never came a messenger to them, but they mocked him. Even so do we let it creep into the hearts of the sinners. Who lets it creep into the hearts of the sinner? Allah Ta'ala. Now if Allah allows, do the mullahs have the right to entice the Muslims to violence? Certainly not. The reason the Quran states that Allah allows because God does not want the followers of Muhammad to react. The key verse being 95. For sufficient are we unto thee against those who scoff. As such, any individual or group who physically takes upon themselves to defend the scoffing of the Prophet Muhammad is committing shirk. Not only shirk, but shirk of the extreme order. The reason I call it shirk of the extreme order is because making someone equal to God or having partners with God is the standard shirk. But by taking matters in your own hands shows that Allah Ta'ala to be insufficient, thus demoting Allah and promoting mullahs, which becomes a matter of extreme shirk. Be aware. Islam means submission to the will of Allah, not to the will of mullahs. For sufficient are we unto thee against those who scoff, says Allah. It's time that all Muslims take a deeper look at the true teachings of Quran and to stop paying heed to the mullahs, who in their desire for power have no desire to speak the truth. Does truth matter to you? It does to me, a senior Muslim. Before I close, let me read Surah Al-Azab 33:70. O you who believe, be aware of God and speak only the truth. Because if you don't, you will be in azab. Allah Hafiz.